Eight fascinating facts about Disney and Pixar. 8. Disney's first cartoon. Despite popular belief that Mickey Mouse in Steamboat Willie was the first cartoon Disney released, that is, in fact, incorrect. Steamboat Willie was the first animated short to feature synchronized audio, not their first animated release. Their first animation was released in 1927. In 1928, Walt Disney created the first ever animated cartoon with sound. This was groundbreaking. So when in 1932 Herbert Kalmus approached Disney to make a film using the new 3-color process, Disney quickly accepted. Even though many of his colleagues, including his brother, completely disagreed with Disney for dumping a movie which was already in production for a new process, he went on with it. And you know what? It turns out he was right, as the film Flowers and Trees was remade with the new technology and was a box office success. It was such a success that the film ended up winning an Oscar for all its hard work.
7.
They're all technically just one big movie. So it turns out Marvel wasn't the first to create an interlinking cinematic universe. Ironic that Disney now owns Marvel, but Disney technically did the whole cinematic universe thing first. Don't believe us? In a few almost unnoticeable corners of popular Disney films, characters from other Disney movies pop up, like Bugs Life characters appearing as toys in Toy Story 2. The references are endless, but they're all linked to one another in some way. I mean, come on, every single Pixar film has Pizza Truck from Toy Story in it one way or another. Poor Scar from The Lion King suffers a fate that was foreshadowed by Zazu, as Scar makes a cameo appearance as a throw rug in Hercules. How about in The Little Mermaid during Triton's arena scene? Donald Duck, Goofy, and Mickey Mouse can be seen walking along the sea floor. Call them references, call them Easter eggs, all that matters is that they all exist in one another's universes. Even though Pixar is its own thing, that too seems to be just one universe, as they tend to throw in references to all their work with each new film they release, like how Sully from Monsters, Inc. appears in Brave as a wood carving and then makes another appearance in a different Pixar franchise, Cars, with Mike as a monster truck version of himself. Or how about Jessie from Toy Story and Nemo from Finding Nemo appearing as toys in Boo's Room in Monsters, Inc.?
6.
Disney loves sassy horse sidekicks. When you think about it, Disney always implements tropes into their films. There's always going to be a princess in some way, shape, or form. There's always going to be a prince, and there's always going to be a sassy horse sidekick. No, really, they've got several films with a sassy horse sidekick. Out of Disney's most popular animated films, there have been 11 horse sidekicks, each with its own personality, making horses far and away the most popular of the animal sidekicks. This is partially because they're the main mode of transportation available in medieval fairy tale land, but it's also because horses are, apparently, very easily characterized as sassy. However, without Maximus, Citron, Bullseye, Pegasus, Khan, Angus, Buck, Philippe, Achilles, Samson, and Major, their respective films just wouldn't have been the same.
5.
Disney World Resort Florida is huge. The Walt Disney World Resort, also known as Disney World, was first opened in October 1971 in Florida. It has more than 52.5 million visitors annually. Of course, it's owned by the Walt Disney Company. The whole of Disney World Resort is almost as large, if not larger, than the city of San Francisco. Yep, both San Francisco and Disney World cover more than 40 square miles of land. Disney World houses 4 theme parks: Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. 24 themed resorts, 2 water parks, and several additional entertainment and recreational venues. But Disney doesn't use much of the land as it's officially a wildlife area.
4.
Pixar's link to Apple. For those who don't know, Pixar was a pet project of Steve Jobs. You know, the same guy who founded Apple. We know it's a pretty common fact. Jobs' 2006 sale of Pixar Animation Studios to Disney gave him a 7.3% stake in the media giant and a seat on its board. His legacy, which is a shocking fact about Disney, that it can be seen in virtually every corner of Disney, from the budding resurgence of Walt Disney Animation Studios to the $1 billion overhaul of Disney's California Adventure and the expansion of its cruise line, according to the accounts of about a dozen current and former executives of Disney and Apple. But did you know that even though after Jobs' departure from Pixar in 2006, Pixar continued to put references in their films relating to Apple? Like if you look at almost any PC screen in any Pixar film, you'll notice that it's using the iOS operating system that's installed on all of Apple's Mac computers.
3,
The birth of Pixar classics. While we're on the subject of Pixar and their groundbreaking films, during the summer of 1994, while producing their first feature film, Toy Story, the key Pixar creative minds had a now famous lunch in a diner in Point Richmond. During this lunch meeting, they ended up brainstorming the ideas that eventually became the films A Bug's Life, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and Wall-E. The story has become a part of film animation legend, mythical, and a cornerstone moment for Pixar, so much so that it was even featured in the teaser trailer for Wall-E.
2,
Sully animation process. Did you know that during the production of Monsters, Inc., it would usually take around an average of 12 hours to produce a single frame of scene that included the character of Sully? Engineers at the Pixar studios were scratching their heads. One of them was trying to figure out a reasonable and efficient way to deal with the movement and feel of one of the main character's fur. The two tests produced were not satisfactory in their results, where due to the sheer quantity of fur, it was getting caught in different objects. In the end, Pixar set up a new department and worked on a fur simulation program, FIST. This allowed Sully's fur to move in a natural way by being attached after Sully's movement had first been animated. His fur was so accurate in its movement that it would even take into consideration the forces of wind and gravity. This is definitely one of the shocking facts about Disney.
1,
Origins of Mickey Mouse. As we said earlier, Disney's first animated feature was not Steamboat Willie, which just so happens to be Mickey Mouse's first outing. But did you know that Steamboat Willie wasn't even Mickey's first animated appearance? Now, as we previously said, Steamboat Willie was technically the first Disney animated film starring Mickey Mouse to be shown in public. However, it's not the first to include Mickey altogether, as Mickey was first seen in a test screening of the cartoon short Plain Crazy on May 15, 1928. However, it failed to impress the audience, and to add insult to injury, Walt could not find a distributor. Though understandably disappointed, Walt went on to produce a second Mickey short, The Gallopin' Gaucho, which was also not released for lack of a distributor. Steamboat Willie was first released on November 18, 1928 in New York. It was co-directed by Walt Disney and UB Iwerks. Iwerks again served as the head animator, assisted by Johnny Cannon, Les Clark, Wilfred Jackson, and Dick Lundy. This short was intended as a parody of Buster Keaton's Steamboat Bill Jr., first released on May 12th of the same year. Although it was the third Mickey cartoon produced, it was the first to find a distributor, and thus is considered by the Disney company as Mickey's debut. Willie featured changes to Mickey's appearance, in particular simplifying his eyes to large dots. That established his look for later cartoons and in numerous Walt Disney films.